Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86. Here you will find everything from your favorite characters, from anime, series, or movies, such as figures, statues, trading cards, and other limited special edition items. I will show you everything that is included. For example, we will discuss the design of the box, how it's packaged, the design of the figure, the articulation points, the accessories that are included, and we will see our favorite characters in special scenes. And you never know, you might see other characters make special guest appearances, so you can decide whether it's worth getting or not. Subscribe and join me on new weekly adventures. Now let's start the show. Let's go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86, and today from Shokugan, Shodo Super, and the Power Rangers, I present to you the Power Rangers in Space, also known as Denji Sentai Megaranger. Looking at the side of the box, you can see the Red Ranger along with the Silver Ranger. If you recall, a while back I did the Shokugan Shodo Super of the Psycho Rangers, and I mentioned that I wanted to do the one for the Power Rangers in Space version. So I got lucky and I was able to find one of these special sets for sale. So here it is. The promise has been fulfilled. This is an overview of everything that is included in this tiny box. As you can see, it's a lot of stuff. And honestly, I'm not sure how they managed to package everything into that one little box. You have all 6 Rangers and they all have their own accessories for them. Upon removing the Rangers from the box, you can see that each Ranger is packaged in its own individual bag. One thing to note, if you look at how they were packaged, each Ranger individually, you have the figure, then you have the Galaxy Glider, then you have the weapon accessories, but some have special hand gestures. So if you notice, the blue, silver, and black Rangers, those are packaged in 3 sections within the bag, but red and yellow come in 4 sections, and the pink Ranger comes in 4 sections. That's a lot of stuff here. So as you can see, there's 6 bags total, each one divided into 9 different sections for each Ranger. So this is similar to what we saw with the Psycho Rangers. Each one got their own individual hand gestures. These are all the common hand gestures that are not really Ranger specific, unlike the previous ones that some had their own specific hand gestures, which is really neat. In this round, you can see all the weapons that come with them. These are basically the specialized weapons that the Rangers use throughout the series. And we also got some stickers. And finally, there's the Shamrock looking candy, which I'm not going to eat. I have no idea if that's even still edible at this point. So odds are it'll probably end up in the trash. As you can see, there will be some assembly required, especially those stickers. They all have to go into the gliders. Some go on the Rangers, and then some will also go into the different weapons. So we'll see how that goes. Here's a quick overview of the instructions that are associated with these figures. The back of the box has a QR label on them, so this is digital. The first section shows you how to put the stickers on the Ranger and how to assemble the special hands. Then it continues on into the second section, shows you how to put the stickers on the Astro Blasters as well as the individual weapons for each one of the Rangers. So there you have the Satellite Stunner and all the other weapons. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Then it shows you how to put the stickers on the Quadro Blaster. Afterwards, it shows you how to attach the Ranger into the Galaxy Glider and how to attach the stickers for it. The next section shows you how to attach the Astro Blasters and what wrist to use for them. So this is the Red Ranger with his weapons, followed by the Black Ranger. Then you have TJ. Follow me on IG at Titan del 86. Followed by Ashley. Then you have the Pink Ranger. And finally you have Zane. Honestly, he's got the coolest weapon. Then it finally shows you how to position the Rangers and what hands to use for the Quadro Blaster, and that's it. This is the 360 of the Pink Ranger straight out of the box, just using Cassie as an example of what these Power Rangers from Space figures look like. As you can see, for a really small figure, it has a lot of great details. Here in the front you can see the details of the helmet. Hopefully the camera can capture that for you, and then you can see how the body is sculptured. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. On the back side, similar to what we saw on the Cycle Rangers, it's got that attachment feature there. So maybe one of the stands can go into it in case you wanted to display these particular Rangers doing poses that require them to be up in the air. And one thing to note on this particular pink Ranger, and probably the same goes for the yellow one, the skirt is made out of a rubber plastic. Hopefully it can flex, but we will see. As you can see, it's cut down on the sides to allow for movement. Don't forget to follow me on IG at Titandel86. The body does feel very lightweight. Overall, the figure looks really fantastic. As you can see, the figure is pretty simple as well. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. It's got some really good details for a small figure. Now let's check out the articulation points from these Power Rangers from space. So overall, it's got good neck movement. You can do 360 on the head. This is as high as the arms go. He does have a mechanism there to allow you to stretch the arm to go more towards the center, similar to what we saw on the s.h.figuarts, but it's not as noticeable. So this is as far center as the arms go. Here, hopefully you can see that rotation there. 360 on the arm, 360 on the bicep. Here's the elbow. Obviously I attached the wrist there just so you can see it. Obviously it won't be able to go up and down since it's a pinion that goes in there, so you can just pick the angle that you want there. It X keyed with the hex just to allow it for grip. So I wouldn't suggest rotating it because then you'll wear it down. Here's your chest movement, side movement, good torsional rotation. This is as high as the leg goes. This is as far back as it goes. You can do a split there. One thing to note, he does have a locking mechanism on the legs, as you see here. So you can flex them down and you can kind of see it becomes a little bit more wobbly to give you more poses there. But then you can come back and then you can lock it. He's got good thigh rotation. There's the knee. For the ankles, he does inboard, outboard. You get 360 there. This is as low as it goes and as high as it goes. There's no motion in the toes. Overall, they have similar articulation points to the Cycle Rangers. So the formula is still the same, and this is actually really good for a figure of this size. Taking the Blue Ranger as an example, as you can see, the figure comes with a lot of accessories. So you have the glider, all the different weapons, and you also get an extra piece for the right arm. I guess one shows the communicator and one doesn't. And then you have all these stickers that go to the figures, to each one individually. So some go to the hand glider, most of them go to the pistols, some go to the weapons, and then some actually go on the Rangers. So this is somewhat of a mini kit as well, but instead of assembling it with hard plastic pieces, you're using the stickers. So hopefully I don't butcher some of these, because as we all know, once the stickers are done, they're done, if you know what I mean. Hopefully the instructions are clear enough for me not to butcher them, and I end up putting the right stickers with the right weapons. For a tiny figure, it does come with a lot of stuff. So here's a close-up of that same Blue Ranger, now with the stickers on it. So I added stickers to the glider, the belt on the Ranger, and definitely on the weapons. Now let me give you a close-up so you can see how this really turned out. One thing to note is putting the stickers on the difficulty level. I'm going to say it's a 10 because 1, it is very time consuming. 2, you have to be super accurate on where you're sticking them. And 3rd, you have to translate the instructions to make sure you're putting the right stickers on the right parts, since some of these they do tend to look very similar. The other thing to note is you want to be really careful when you're peeling them off, because they do have some little cuts in them to kind of help the sticker align to that particular shape. So if you're peeling them and you're not very careful, there's a good chance that you can rip one off, which you really don't want to, because you're not getting extra stickers. Each sticker that comes with this package is used, so you're not going to get any extra ones. So once it's done, it's done. The other thing is you don't want to handle them too much on the sticky side, because again, once that's done, it's done. So you have to be very accurate and you have to be very careful on how you hold them. And as you can see, the stickers, they all come in different shapes, sizes, and orientations as well. So each one has like an A side and a B side. See, in this one, you can see where the sticker kind of had to wrap around the object. So it made it a lot harder to get that nice pattern in there. Hopefully the camera can capture the detail for you. On some of them, they were easy. On some of them, they were not so easy. For example, if we focus on the cone shape on the tip of the guns, you see that it's got a slight angle where the sticker had a 2D dimension to it. So you can kind of see where I kind of messed up a little bit, just trying to wrap around the cone shape, as you see in the close-ups. And this is what I mean, the sticker wasn't able to adjust on the cone shape. The axe portion really did come out really good, and you can kind of see where it had the little pre-cuts to kind of help go around those radiuses. But you can see where the sticker wasn't able to wrap around fully on the object. Here's another example. I just hope the stickers don't fall off with time, and obviously that's going to go to the handling. You don't want to handle these figures too much now that they have the stickers, especially the weapons, because then they're going to tend to slide off, and once you start losing the glue on them, it's going to get even worse, especially on the ones that have hard bands on them, because obviously they want to stay straight. Also, another thing to note is if you have big fingers or poor eyesight, you're really going to hate this, especially with the smaller pieces, because it becomes even more difficult to put the stickers on. And on top of all that, you kind of had to fold the sticker around some of the edges, which on some of these it turned out really well depending on the shape, but on some of them it was just awful. And one thing that made this a lot difficult is if you look at the details of the weapons, the features are carved out in the plastics, so they're not smooth surfaces. So now you're trying to put a flat surface on a non-flat surface, which makes it very difficult to do the overall overlay, because now you have to account for the valleys, the curves, and all the intricate shapes. One thing that would have been better was if the idea was to put stickers on these objects, then the objects themselves should have been flat cuts without any patterns or anything. Here you can see the imprint of the circle that came on the glider, but the sticker doesn't accommodate for it. You basically had to fold the sticker over sharp corners. So I wonder how this is going to hold over time. So some really came out really good, and some they look like crap. And this is where I mean, where the sticker wasn't able to fully conform to the cutout of the details from the object. And honestly, the stickers do look good on the objects. The metallic gloss that it has really makes them pop. To me, is the imperfections that you do get to see as you're trying to lay them out. And obviously, if they would have tried to color them and all that, you wouldn't have gotten as much details. You would have gotten some paint splashes, and you would have gotten some non-conforming parts that wouldn't look accurate or good. So I see why they did the sticker route, and maybe they gave you the details on each one of the weapons in case you're one of those that doesn't want to use the stickers when you're displaying the figures. I'm not sure. There are some people that do that. They'd rather just go without the stickers, but there's some other people that like to put the stickers on. So as you see here, obviously I went and I put the stickers on them. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. Do you put the stickers on your figures, or do you leave the stickers off? So our first ranger is the Black Ranger, which is Carlos. And this one I have him holding the lunar lance, which is the Black Ranger's weapon. Overall, the details on these figures are really amazing. As you can see on the Black Ranger, the coloring, the styling really pops up with the gold. Well, I want to say it's gold around the neck. Then on his chest, you can see the colors from all the 5 Rangers. Here I'm showing how dynamically the figure can be. So you can see that with the lance and everything, I was able to balance the figure. The other thing is I really like the Power Rangers in space. As you can see, for some reason I really like their styling, especially with the helmets and all that stuff. And honestly, to me, Power Rangers in space was my favorite series out of all the Rangers. I'm still surprised just how small the figure is, and you still have all these details in it, as well as all these different articulation points. Just look at all the little tiny joints that it has. I don't know if the camera can capture it, but putting the stickers on the lance by the portion that is the lunar, I kind of butchered that one, and definitely by the bottom one. The bottom piece, just honestly, you look at it in good detail, it just looks horrible. This was one that I did not do a good job at putting the stickers on. That's the one thing that I didn't like, was the stickers. They do look nice and everything, but putting them on was quite the hassle. And honestly, in some of those, even though I took my time and try to make sure I had all the angles perfectly right, I was still not able to fully align some of them. And this one is a particular one in the lens towards the bottom. It was just bad execution. In this one, I have Ashley, also known as the Yellow Ranger. In this one, she is using the Star Slinger. One thing that I didn't really like about this particular weapon is that it's missing the other section of the Star Slinger. If you notice, it kind of looks like a slingshot, so it's missing the back piece. I don't know if they purposely left that out because then the weapon would have been more fragile. You would see that the skirt is separated in two sections, one for the front and then one for the rear, just to help allow some of the leg movement. Even though it's a soft plastic, it's still pretty thick and stiff, so you're not able to fully articulate the figure in case you wanted to have her like in a sitting position or something that would require the legs to be fully up front. So this is as much as I could get the leg up without putting too much stress on the plastic joints. But it doesn't take away from the figure, it is still fine. One thing to know, just be careful when you're posing the female rangers with the skirts as far as what you do with the leg movement, because that plastic piece does have a tendency to hold memory. For this one, if you look on the holster, I have it with the Astro Blaster inside of it, which I'm surprised that they kept it as one color and didn't give us a sticker for it. Where if you recall earlier on the one that I did for Carlos, I had the Astro Blaster outside the holster, just so you can see what it looks like on the figures with and without. And as you can see, it's all white, even though we know that the blasters are blue. I just found it surprised that we didn't get a sticker, or they chose not to do the two-tone color. Well, I could see why they didn't do the two-tone color on it, but maybe a sticker or just gave us the ability to swap out the weapon to be in and out of the holster. For this one, I have TJ holding the Astro Axe. And honestly, I didn't know that TJ's name was actually Theodore J. I don't remember that being addressed in any of the episodes, but again, it's been a lot of years since I saw Power Rangers in space. If you know if that was addressed in one of the episodes, let me know. For this one, as you're noticing, I put the communicator thing on the wrist as well, just so you can see what it would look like on the Blue Ranger. I'm not really sure what it was, but I want to say it was like the communication device that they used once they had the Ranger suits on. And on some of the scenes, if you remember, it comes and goes, so it only seems to show up when they actually needed it. I'm really liking this Blue Ranger. I know that 3-0 came up with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, then they did Power Rangers Zeo, and now they have Power Rangers Turbo. So I wonder if they're gonna do their version of the Power Rangers in space, and those would be, I think there'll be 1/6 scale. And I know I mentioned it before, I do have the version for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I just haven't gotten it to it yet. Maybe in the future I'll do the review and the unboxing of those. But right now I'm really tempted by the ones from Power Rangers Turbo. But if they definitely do a Power Rangers in space, I'm pretty sure I might, 9 out of 10, I would probably end up getting it. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts of 3-0 and the Power Ranger line. I believe Hasbro also did their version of the Power Rangers in space as well. I'm just not sure if they look any better than the ones you're seeing here. I think they are probably a little bit bigger. I'm not sure as far as details or articulations how they would compare to these figures. If you know, let me know. For this scene, I have Andros using both the Astro Blaster as well as the Spiral Saber. Here I have him in mid-air, and as you notice, I know I mentioned this when I did the Psycho Rangers review, where they had that hole in the back, so I finally figured out which piece actually goes in there. If you notice that on this one is actually the Tamashii Nation's station that comes with the double jointed. If you use the smaller piece, you can actually use that to attach on the back of the Rangers. It actually fits perfectly fine. It's not like the other ones where it's a little bit oversized. So for that one, you need to get the Tamashii Nation Act Humanoid stage, which is the one that has that piece. And technically that piece goes inside the stem of it to hold it, so it just happens to be small enough that actually fits in the back of these Ranger figures. So that's what you're seeing here. So you're not using the regular pinion that goes for the pincers, and you're not using the one that goes into the base. The other thing that I noticed is on the base itself, you could actually flip it over and use the smaller pinions. So you could basically customize the stem and the base just so you could get these action poses out of these figures, especially if you want to do mid-air scenes. Don't forget to follow me on IG at Titan86. The other thing to note again is when you're manipulating the figures, be careful of where you put the stickers on, because if you rub them too much, obviously they'll come off. And that is especially for the one in the belt, since at least for me, I'm used to grabbing the figures by the hip or the waist, so my thumb usually tends to go in that area. So that is something that I'm trying to be careful with. For this one, I have Zane, also known as the Silver Ranger. He's ready to charge one of his enemies with the Super Saberizer in the sword mode. And honestly, I think out of all the Ranger weapons, I think Zane got the best one. The other thing is, it seems like out of all the gadgets, the Silver Ranger had the most. He had his own motorcycle, they all share the Galaxy Gliders, and he also had his own Terra vehicle if I remember correctly. His story reminds me similar of the Green Ranger. He always showed up when things weren't looking too good for the rest of the Rangers. Then if I remember correctly, he even got his own Mega Sword similar to the Green Ranger once again. The other thing to note is his style is a little bit different than the other Rangers, as you can see here. He's lined up with silver and golden accents, where the other Rangers have their primary color with white accents. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. And the other thing is, if you look across his chest, instead of having the other Ranger colors, his are just green with black stripes throughout. The other thing, unlike the other Rangers, this one doesn't have a holder nor an Astral Blaster. And obviously it's because he has the Saberizer, which can double down as a blaster. But I do like in the figure that they did give him that slot there. So I don't know if they got lazy on the molding and just say, you know what, screw it, let's just give him one. The other thing is, I don't know about the silver color. To me, the silver is a little bit darker than I was expecting. If I remember correctly from the ones in the show, the silver was a lot lighter than the one that I'm seeing here.
Super Silverizer!
For this scene, I have Cassie flying through the air using the satellite stunner. Again, wants to show you how dynamic the figure is, and I have Cassie in the mid-air, once again using the stand just like I mentioned before. And again, this Ranger looks amazing. Just like all the other Rangers, even though the only difference between each one of these figures is the color scheme. But honestly, what they did here is amazing. It's a really small figure with a lot of details and great articulation points. Once again, here you can kind of see how the skirt is split up into two sections, one in the front and one in the rear, similar to the Yellow Ranger. And this is as high as I was able to get the leg up, just that I feel comfortable without putting that hard memory into the plastic piece, because it's very thick and very stiff as well. So I'm not able to get super dynamic poses out of the skirt. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on the Shodo Super figures. Honestly, I'm really liking them. I like that they're small and they have great articulation points, and they have a lot of good details as well for such a small figure. The one thing that I could have did without was the sticker portions of it, but honestly, looking at it as an end product with the stickers, they look amazing, because the stickers are able to give you that high contrast, which makes the figure pop more versus if it was just regular paint. Even though they were very painful to put on, and as you can see throughout the video, on some of these I did a good job on them, and some of them I just did horrible. And that was just because of how the shapes of the figure was that I was putting them on, and also how the stickers were cut off. For this scene, I have all 6 Power Rangers at once. In this one, I'm showing them with their second alternative weapons, which is basically the Astral Blasters used with the regular weapons, which basically puts their weapons in booster mode. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite weapon. If you recall from the back segments that came with each one of the Rangers, some of them had special hand gestures. The Rangers that came with extra hand gestures was the red, pink, and yellow. And I'm showing some of them here. You have Endos with the index finger pointing out, Cassie with the peace sign, If you recall, she came with 2 of them. Then you have Ashley with the double pistol sign, if that's what you want to call it. One thing to note, the material on those wrists is completely different than the one that is used for the regular sets. The ones in the regular set seems to be like a soft plastic, but the ones that Cassie, Andros, and Ashley have, those are hard plastic, similar to the same material that the figure's made out of. So they're slightly different. The other thing is, if you recall, they came in 2 different sections. So depending on the type of the wrist style, it either came with the option to insert it on the inside of the palm or the back side of the palm. So I'm not sure why they decided to do it that way. If you know in the comments, let me know. You must be very careful because those pieces are very tiny and they are very easy to lose. These figures are really good. If you don't have them, I suggest you get them. They're perfect for any type of Power Ranger collection, and they're very simple too. Another thing to note, if you look at the Rangers on their chest, they all have the other Ranger colors as part of their outfits. But if you remember from the stickers, there were 4 stickers that had similar style pattern, but they were all purple. I'm not sure if that was for like the comic book version, also known as the manga, or they were first drafts. So it gives you the option in case you don't like to have the full colors there, where you can just put the stickers over them and make them all purple.
Wait, let's do it!
For this scene, I have the Rangers using the Quadro Blaster, which is basically the weapons of the pink, yellow, black, and blue Rangers combined. For the Quadro Blaster, you're basically recycling the Star Slinger and then the Satellite Stunner, which is only the satellite portion. All the other ones come in as one piece, where you just had to add the stickers. If I remember correctly from all the episodes, they don't really show what really happens in the back. So this is my interpretation of that. They always show the pink and the yellow Ranger touching the shoulders of Carlos, and then they always show TJ in the back, but what exactly are their hands doing? Between Cassie's left arm, Ashley's right arm, and both of TJ's arms, I can never figure out exactly what they be doing. So this is what I'm picturing, is that they kind of make a loop between all 4 of each other, where TJ gives his energy to Ashley and Cassie, then Cassie and Ashley transfer their energy along with TJ's into Carlos, who then puts it all into the Quadro Blaster. At least that's what I'm guessing. The other thing is, the limitation of these figures is always the same one, whether it's s.h.figuarts or Rocket Toys or the Saint Seiya figures from Bandai. They always have the limitation on the legs moving all the way up. We even saw this in the s.h.figuarts of Demon Slayer, Bossmod Demon Slayer as well. So in this one, again, that limitation is also shown. As you can see, the Black Ranger's front left leg, that's as high as I could get it to go up.
Quadro Blaster, assembled and waiting for the call.
For this scene, Andros has the Spiral Saber with the twin barrel attachment, and it's also in the booster mode. As for Zane, I have him holding the 2 Astro Blasters, so in case you don't remember, the Astro Blaster can break up into 2 handguns, which is what you're seeing here. Obviously, it's not as strong as the single one, so the firing power is divided by 2. So in this one, Zane is watching his back, making sure no one sneaks up on Andros as he's firing his attack. And I did that just so you can see the 2 Astro guns. I really like how the light hits the Silver Ranger and it makes that gold pop. It really gives it that shiny look. Even though when you see the figure in person, it kind of looks like a dry gold, but it works well with the light reflection. For the mini black Astro Blaster, putting the sticker on it was extremely difficult because it was really small, but overall it did come out well. It doesn't look too bad. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in their Shokugan version, then we can do a review on those figures. Since I'm really liking this Shokugan figure line, I also saw that they do Digimon, so maybe that's something that might come up here in the near future. Maybe I'll give that Digimon figure line a try by getting maybe one set of the Shokugan version, because looking at these Power Rangers in space and as well as the Psycho Rangers, I'm really liking what this figure line has to offer. They're really tiny and they pack a ton of details. The articulation points are really good, and I also like the quality that they put in there. And you can't forget about all the accessories that come with these figures. So I wonder how that would translate over to the other figure lines, for example Digimon. I am looking for the Shokugan versions of the Astro Mega Swords as well. So if I do find those, and similar to what I showed you here, right? If you recall from watching the Psycho Ranger video, I mentioned these, and here we are. Now you have them as promised.
Spiral Saber, powered up and ready to rock.
So here I'm showing all the Rangers just having fun with their Galaxy Gliders, which is something that I really like about this package, is that not only did you get a bunch of weapons, but they also gave you all the gliders for each one of the Rangers. And as you can see, they all have similar patterns, shapes, and everything. The only one that is very specially unique is the one that Zane's got. And as you can see over there, Zane's being a clown. Looks like he fell off his Galaxy Glider, so he's just riding both Andros and trying to get a hold of his to get back on top. As you can see, in the bottom of each of the Galaxy Gliders, they have 3 little slots there, so you can pick how you want to attach it when doing particular poses. If you get the Act Humanoid Tamashii Nation stage, you could actually use the bottom swivel piece, and that actually fits directly into the back of the Rangers, and it also fits directly in the bottom of these Galaxy Gliders. If you're trying to start up a Power Ranger collection, I suggest you start with these because you get everything. Overall, I like what they really did, even though the designs are very simple. But if you narrow down into the details, for example the stuff that they did on the guns, then you can see that they put a lot of tiny details in these tiny little objects. And obviously the stickers are really cool and everything. I did have difficulties sticking them on. I think that's the only thing that I didn't really like. But overall, when you look at the final product with the stickers and everything, they do look amazing. I think the stickers help highlight the presentation of the figures by bringing it more to life. They met my expectations of what I was expecting based on what I saw from the Psycho Ranger versions. So these did not disappoint either. In the comments, I left a link for the Psycho Rangers, so you can head over there and check out my review for those. And those were also phenomenal, which inspired me to find this particular set. As promised, here it is. Hope you enjoy it. This is all I have for you today. If you like what you have seen, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new one. Thank you and bye.
Galaxy Gliders, hang 10!
Once you get the hang of it, it's like walking on air.
Yeah, but faster.